In example 6, we're going to do word problems with inequalities. The problem says, you make a profit of $5.25 from each magazine you sell. How many magazines do you need to sell to earn a minimum of $170? Letter A, we want to know what is the variable and what does it represent. You can find out what that variable is usually at that last sentence. Here it says how many magazines, so we want to change that question of how many into a statement. So in letter A, we can use the letter M to represent the number of magazines. Then in letter B, we want to set up an inequality to represent the situation. So if we look at what's happening, it says you make a profit of $5.25 from each magazine. So every magazine that we have is $5.25. That's a multiplication problem. So we could say $5.25 times M. And then it says, how many magazines do you need to sell to earn a minimum of $170? So you want to earn $170 or more, which means you want this amount, this 5.25M, to be $170 or more. That means we want to use the greater than or equal to sign, and we want that greater than or equal to 170. In part C, we're going to go ahead and solve the inequality. So let's rewrite it. We have 5.25M is greater than or equal to 170. And if we go to solve for M, notice it's being multiplied by 525. The opposite of multiplying by 525 would be to divide. So I'm going to divide this side by 5.25, and I'm going to divide this side by 5.25. And I get M is greater than or equal to. Now, when I divide 170 by 5.25 on my calculator, I get a long decimal answer. So I'm going to list down part of that decimal. And I get 32.3809, and it goes on. But I want to look at that decimal because I need to know how to round this problem. So in part D, when it asks what is the minimum number of magazines I need to sell, remember I need to sell enough magazines to get $170 or more. If I just sell 32, I'm not going to get quite to that 170. So that means I have to round up to 33 magazines in order for it to work. So I'm going to say 33 magazines. If you have any questions about example 6, please raise your hand and I'll come around and answer your questions.